Hi. Veda Beta Theta Zeta Keta Meta Shada. This is Huge Movie Fanatic Nate coming back to review a Beta Zeta Sorority House. Okay, I'll stop. Sorority House Massacre 2. This is the first slumber party slash sorority house movie directed by a guy who is, I think, Jim Waninski or whoever the hell he is. This movie is really. I think I saw it the day before I saw Sorority House Massacre, the first one. A friend of mine had taped it off of cable. And this movie is a pure and total like TNA fest, and that's all pretty much it has going for it. This movie is such a calamity in the sense that, I mean, it's just so lame. I mean, really all it is really is a TNA fest, which is fine. There's this one like British girl who's like, there's a lot of pretty hot girls in this movie, and one who was just like silicone crazy, who at the time I was kind of liked, but now I don't really like that kind of silicone now, where it's just like, where there was nothing there before the silicone kind of thing, where it's like they don't move at all kind of thing. Like a half of a sphere with a nipple right in the center kind of bullshit that don't move. Anyway. Sorority House Massacre 2 is really lame, and it features this guy, this character Orville Ketchum, who lives across the street, and these girls are like coming into. I think one of the taller, bigger girls is some former playmate or something like that. I don't know. She sure as shit ain't anything like Kimberly MacArthur, so I don't know. But these girls come to set up this house, which is. The weird thing about this movie is that it's like its own movie, but it's a sequel at the same time. And like the Sam Ketchum character, who's kind of funny, talks about like Clive Hochstetter, and there's actually clips, which is lame because I mean it's Roger Corman, so they're all five of these movies are Concord Roger Corman movies, so he owns all of them. So there's actually clips, as this Sam Ketchum is talking about what had happened of Slumber Party Massacre 1 in this movie, and he's calling him, Clive Hochstetter, and Hochstetter was plenty smart. He just slipped around the back way. And they'll show, scenes from Slumber Party Massacre, and obviously their names weren't these names, and he's like, he killed Cecily. And of course, her name wasn't Cecily in Slumber Party Massacre. So, this is a time of early 90s when Concord, Roger Corman movies were starting to, maybe they did it before, I haven't seen all of them by any means, but they're starting to recycle like scenes from other movies, like the Carnosaur movies and stuff. So this is really just sloppy. I will go 1.5 stars for just TNA, I guess, pretty much only. I guess that's really all there is to this movie. It's weird because it's a sequel, but yet it's not a sequel to Sorority House Massacre in the sense that it has anything to do with any of the characters from the first movie. It's just the weirdest kind of sequel in the world. It makes up its own little universe, I guess, by renaming the killer and the characters from Slumber Party Massacre. I don't get it personally. But it's just a TNA fest, basically, is all it is. I liked it as a kid because, I guess, as a teenager because of that fact. Like, I remember there's this audio, of us watching Sorority House Massacre for the first time in '93, when he's like, because I remember, because when we rented it, the first time we watched it, I was putting it on his tape probably right after part 2. We were dubbing it. I was dubbing it for him, and then after we dubbed Sorority House Massacre for him, we were going to dub part 2 for me. It was, talk about great friends, or weren't we great friends? So it was completely fair and balanced, and I remember him saying, watching Sorority House Massacre, he's like, so after this, are you going to dub part 2? And I'm like, yep. And he's like, what about part 1? And I'm like, so far it sucks.
So after this, are you going to dub the part 2?
Yeah.
What about part 1?
Look, I think I can color.
So far it sucks. So I didn't dub part 1 back then, but I dubbed part 2 so I could look at the TNA. I don't think there's really anything else I can really say about Sorority House Massacre 2. That's all there is to it. Just a lot of kind of from reasonably attractive to some of her hot girls just walking around in lingerie. I mean, that's all it is. But that for me deserves 1.5 stars, I guess. So sorry, Sorority House Massacre 2 fans. I mean, that's all I really have to say about it. The Hawks or what's his name? Orville Ketchum character is kind of funny. He's like, "You girls are gonna be needing this," and he sticks his hand down his pants, and then he's like, "Where is it? Where's the key?" Anyway, I don't know. He pulls out a key and he's like, "This here's the key to the basement." It's just kind of funny that's, it's still a stupid movie. Alright. Sorority House Massacre 2, 1.5 stars. Thank you very much for watching.